Now, well, let's see how it's going to fit. There's just a little bit of play in that. And looking at how this thing was made, I'd say that play was in there from the factory. That's pretty nice. I'll have to get my optivisor on and look at this and see if I can see any wear on it. Unfortunately, it's over in the other building. I was using it to look at some electrical connections, inspect some electrical connections the other night. But those two pieces are cleaned up fairly nice. Now, that causes me a little discomfort. So I'm going to try not to spray any more of that. I have found that WD-40 does a pretty good job of cleaning these things up anyway. And the WD-40 doesn't affect me like the one of what amorphous things. Let's try this with some, well, this is still damp. Let me keep using it while it's damp. See what we can get off of this thing. Well, you could sure tell when I open that up. I got some more vapors out from the inside of those. Well, I hear that hitting the backstop back there. I hope it's not hitting my camera lens. Well, where did the one go I was using to wipe this down with? Well, I guess here it is. Sorry about that. That looks pretty good now. The inside's a little messy. See what I can get that to look like inside. That's one reason I cover my bench up with these paper towels. I can spray pretty much what I want to and then pick it up and throw it away at the end of it. Well, it's by no means polished inside. Now, let's push a rag through that and see what we can push out of it. One thing I have noticed is a lot of machinists use airlines, and they are great for some things. But when you go to clean up your lathe, if you have brushed all the chips off of it and you start using an airline, or you're using an airline when you're turning, you're going to have chips blown into every part of that lathe. You would be surprised where you will find chips. If there's an opening, a chip will go through it. Yep, pretty dirty inside. I don't know if you can see that. what it looks like in there, but the Morse taper doesn't, I mean, it's obviously Chinese board. If I thought an American worker boarded Morse taper that looked like that, I would be so disappointed. Now, young people, if any young people are watching, I was talking to an individual up in Ohio a while back who has his own shop. And he said he gets calls probably once a week from people wanting him to shut his shop down and come to work for them because they can't get enough machinists in Ohio. Like Mike Rose says, there are thousands of skilled labor jobs out there in the workforce just waiting on people to apply for. The problem is, and I saw another report the other day, that young people don't want a job that they have to use their hands to work with. So let me change my gloves, get a clean paper towel, spray that down with WD-40 and see what it looks like. Oh, Blue Hands, he got the Blue Hands video, or Blue Hands shop name. I wish I had $1 for each and every blue nitro glove I've worn in the past 28 years. There were some times I would go in work areas and have 8 or 9 pair of these on. Well, that ain't going to go on because my hand's too sweaty. Well, we got the most of it off anyway. Let's spray it down, wipe it down, see what it looks like. I got a bar of lava on the sink in there that'll take care of any mess I get on my hands. How many out there besides me still use lava? Got the inside of this looking pretty good. The outside is looking pretty good. Now, just so you know, with that WD-40 on this thing is hard to hold on to. That outside is slick. And these paper towels don't absorb that too good. I'm going to have to get my blue paper towels out, blue shop towels to go with my blue gloves. But that's leaving a nice coat of water displacement 40 on here, so that should stay pretty good. Yeah, let's look at the races on this thrust bearing. NGK Z90Z, either that or that's 2902. Can't tell for sure by looking at it. It could be 2902 or it could be Z90Z. It's NGK. I gotta find out for sure where the focal point on this thing, nearest I can get to it. This looks pretty good. There's no obvious wear. Although I do see some, I'll probably go ahead and order a bearing. I may not have it by the time I get it back together and need to use it, but I will take it back apart, put a new bearing in it. You can see on that, or at least I hope you can see it, looks like chatter marks on it. That's going to be an interesting pull on getting that race out of there. If I have to replace that bearing, that race looks pretty good. Get dry paper towel. Since this is not a running machine bearing that's turning high RPMs and stuff, that'd probably be okay. The marks we saw in the other race are probably from either over tightening well, that race is turning in there. Let's see if it will. Yeah, it's going to come out. Need a smaller screwdriver. There we go. There we go. Very good. When I first looked at that, it looked like that race was pressed in. Then when I went to clean it, I felt it turn, so that worked out good. Let's hit this with a little brake cleaner. That'll probably choke me to death for a while. And the bearing, the balls on this ball bearing, on this thrust bearing, I'm not seeing any wear on. I'll take it in the house in a little bit and look at it with the Optivisor and see what they look like. I'm just not seeing any obvious signs of wear on them. I'm thinking this bearing is going to be good to go. Okay, that's the back side. This is the front side. I think that bearing will last me the rest of my life, since it's only working in the tailstock. Well, guys, no need to film this going back together. Y'all have seen how I took it apart, and we'll get it back together, and then we'll work on the rest of the tailstock. There's several things I need to fix on this tailstock that were kind of buggered, as the British would say. Somebody had used a 6-inch socket head bolt to replace the locking handle on this thing. So I'm going to scrub the paint off of it, clean it up good. See what thread is on that. Dress these threads up. I need to get some, if you look, you can see how they've even tried to stake that in there. It's a mess. But I'm going to clean that up, clean this whole thing up. I'll put this in the lathe is running, so I'll just put this in the lathe and polish it down with some emery cloth. And clean this up as best I can around this. And I've got a piece of, what is it, 1141? That I'm going to turn this handle out of. And a handle quite similar to the one that Hilltop Machining used to put on his lathe.